Welcome back. The breaking news. It is a triumphant night for England at the Euros. They are through. We are through to the final on Sunday at 8 o'clock. And I've brought in a guest who knows plenty about the highs and lows of the beautiful game. After a playing career spanning 21 years and 578 appearances, Sam Allardyce went on to become one of the most respected managers in English football and is the last person to coach the national side prior to Gareth Southgate. Since taking the helm at Blackpool in 1994, Sam's biggest accomplishments have included leading Bolton Wanderers to their first UEFA Cup qualification in 2005 and getting West Ham promoted to the Premier League in 2012, which he described as his best ever achievement. In 2016, Sam signed a 2-year contract to become England manager, thereby cementing his place in sporting history. Leading England to victory in the World Cup qualifier against Slovakia was another life highlight for Sam. But 67 days after landing his top job, his dream came crashing down. Sam was caught up in a Daily Telegraph sting offering advice about how to get around FIFA and FA rules for a fee. That resulted in his mutual departure from the England team and the drafting of Southgate as stand-in manager, a temp role that has continued to this day. Reflecting on the scandal in 2017, Sam described missing out on the chance to lead England at Wembley, the battleground for tonight's semi-final, as a gut-wrencher. He said, "I wasn't just proud to be the England manager, I was ready, I felt comfortable being there." Though he admitted he had been a fool, Sam was cleared of any wrongdoing and went on to manage Crystal Palace, Everton and West Bromwich Albion, which he stepped down from at the end of the season in May. Sam Allardyce, you are the perfect man to be here tonight. Your reaction to the fact that England is through to the Euros final?
Well, it's an absolutely fantastic evening for every supporter, every England supporter in the country, and of course, not a better place to do it for all the England fans and everybody who supported England tonight. That doing it at Wembley, it's a little bit of luck at the right time. The penalty, of course, Harry Kane takes the penalty, but it's saved by Schmeichel, but rebounds to Harry. He puts in the net. And there we are, we're in the final. That little bit of luck everybody needs in every game, and particularly in a game as important as this one. Very good performance by Denmark. They made life very difficult for England tonight, but they were the dominant side. They did create the most chances. And again, Raheem Sterling standing out from the pack, won the penalty, put the team under pressure, Denmark, for the goal. Even though it was an own goal, he would have scored himself. So all round a fantastic performance by England, a well-deserved win, and we can all rest easy now. All the nerves can stop jangling. We can get a glass of champagne, as I've seen you get, and I will have one after this today or this evening, and really enjoy the victory.
So can we do it on Sunday, Sam? That's the big question now, versus Italy.
Well, yes, this will be another difficult game, because obviously the Italians have been, I think, the surprise team of the Euros. They weren't fancied at the beginning, but Mancini's been in charge. And when you look at his record, I think he's gone 33, maybe 34 games without defeat. So they didn't play that well against Spain. But again, the resilience of the Italian defence got them through in the end, and ultimately got them through on penalties, which is what we didn't want tonight. We didn't want penalties. We didn't need it in the end. In fact, a penalty won it for us. But yes, a difficult match, but one we can really look forward to. And because we've broken the hoodoo of losing in semi-finals now, the last one in 1996, we can now look forward to playing in a final for the first time for many, many years. And of course, again, playing this final at Wembley on our own turf, and there was 60,000 here today in the stadium, and I don't know whether that's going to be increased or not. But the noise and the atmosphere was absolutely fantastic. And as I saw from your programme, elsewhere around the country, everybody jumping up with joy. And what a better time to be celebrating after what we've been through over the last 18 months or so with this horrible pandemic.
Oh my goodness, I know. Hopefully we can put up some of those amazing pictures from around the country as we're talking. Sam, is there a little bit of you tonight thinking, gosh, what might have been?
Oh gosh, a little bit of what might have been hits me every time I see the England team go out there. But I mean, that's long past with water under under the bridge, and nothing I can change now. I've since obviously gone on to continue to enjoy my management career in football, but it's always something I would look back on and think, if only that might have been me. It isn't. It's Gareth, done a fantastic job with his staff, and built a young England side to be a real force now. And the youth and the talent that England is showing at last for many years through the academies is paying dividends, not only for the teams who are playing these players in the Premier League now, but also for England, who are blooding these youngsters, Gareth blooding these youngsters and showing great qualities.
Look, Sam, we've got so many questions for you coming in from our viewers. Josh on GB Views asks, how do you cope with pressure before a big game?
It's a good question, and I think that the pressure has to be eased by the atmosphere in and around the training ground when these lads are together, and they've been together a while now. And what seems to be the reason that the nerves are calmed and the lads are going out and playing is the spirit of the team, the spirit of the squad seems to be exceptionally good. They all seem to enjoy each other's company, and they all seem to look forward, obviously, to playing. And those that don't play seem to support the players well that are playing. And of course, 26 players from Gareth and his staff's point of view is a lot of man management, and they've done a particularly good job managing those 26 players, and he's rotated the side brilliantly. He's introduced changes in the side nearly all the time, introduced the subs at the right time. And of course, one of the major things why England are where they are is because their defensive unity is so good. They conceded their first goal of the tournament tonight, and that was off a terrific free kick. But the test for them was it's the first time they went behind, but the character of the team and the team spirit is obviously there. And there was a little bit of nerves at the start, but once they got in the flow of the game, those nerves calmed and played a very good game.
Rebecca on GB Views asks, what do you think about England players taking the knee?
Well, this is obviously something that's gone along for many months now, and I think we continue to do that in support of Black Lives Matter, and I think that is very, very important that we, irrespective of what other people think or what other people may do in football, football is trying to make a stand.
Peter on the GB News Twitter account, Sam, asks, what is your honest opinion on the media who were responsible for your short England reign? You can be honest.
Oh, well, that was proven to be what I would probably say. What could I say? I can't really say on the live TV what I really think, I suppose. But yes, or my words were put out in the wrong context and changed to suit the story. And it took me over 2 years to put that right, and eventually find through Ipso that the Telegraph had to say that. But by that time for me, and of course I would have loved the FA to be a little more patient, because had they been that, they would have finally seen that I hadn't broken any rules or actually done anything wrong. But I had to take it on the chin, and I have to recover from that. And you can't look back in life in the good times, yes, or in the bad times. You've got to look to the future.
I know,
but
but
it was
I do think that is
disappointing. That's an understatement.
Well, of course, and I do think it is one of the real issues at the moment, that people just go with the mob and they don't actually wait for due process, for due diligence, because I assume, Sam, at the time you were put under extraordinary pressure to go quickly, whereas, as you say, if they'd waited for the investigation to play out, you were actually cleared.
Well, yes, I think that really boils down to the FA's fault, because at the time I was not considered any advice or wasn't given an opportunity to defend myself. I think that was the real disappointment when I came through the situation, and the decision was made without any real investigation or anything done by what you would expect in a big executive operation like the FA. An opportunity to defend myself, and through that I didn't get that chance. I had no representation, and the decision unfortunately went against me. So I had to accept that and move on.
Gary W on Twitter asks, what do you imagine the last 5 years would have been like for England fans if you were still in charge?
We'd have won the World Cup and we'd win the Euros, of course. Who knows? I don't know. I think that I was looking forward to the job so much and felt so comfortable in the job, which you talked about before, and settled in extremely well with the players. And we, with my staff, set out to change the whole format of St George's Park, which was obviously a place the players didn't like to come, and now that has completely changed. We started those changes. Gareth has done a terrific job moving on from there, which means it becomes the England camp and only the England camp, and there is no interference when the players get together, and that of course gives you a better chance to prepare. And I think that blooding the youngsters as Gareth had done and watching them would have been great to see these coming through. We didn't actually know this many players would be coming through at that stage, but obviously from Gareth's point of view, there is nothing better than having a great talent that you are managing. And I think every manager knows you're only as good as your players and your squad. And England's squad is very, very strong and very good at the moment. And Gareth is handling that extremely well.
Sam, I'm going to bring in our superstar panel now. Former editor of the Daily Star, Dawn Neeson, the Conservative commentator Calvin Robertson, and GB News presenter Isabel Webster. Dawn's a massive football fan. Dawn, your question to Sam?
So, Sam, hi, Italy on Sunday. What do you reckon?
Well, this is going to be, as tonight, a very, very tight match. I think that in the beginning it will be very cagey. That both teams will feel each other out and try and work and play their way into the game. And I think for us, it really needs our top forward players to play their best game in the final. And hopefully there'll be no nerves there'll be some nerves, but I hope the nerves will help the team to play their very best. And I think that we need the sort of quality of Grealish, Sterling, Saka, Harry Kane to break the Italian defence down. And of course, now Harry's back on form again, along with Raheem Sterling, and you could put Mason Mount, Grealish, Saka, you could put any of those, or Sancho, any of those players that could cause Italy lots of problems. And of course, England have got this far by keeping this terrific defensive unit going as well. So combining both of those elements together will give England a platform, hopefully, to win this trophy. And in all fairness, it really doesn't matter how we play, does it, as long as we win. We'd love to play really, really well and beat the Italians comfortably, but at the end of the day, it's about just winning this game, and hopefully that will be the case on Sunday.
Sam, give me your prediction. What's your score?
Sorry?
What's your score? Give me your prediction.
I'm going to go 2-1 for England.
Yes. That'll do me.
After extra time, though. It might be after extra time, but I think hopefully it won't be, because I'm not sure our nerves can take it.
Calvin Robertson.
Hi, Sam. When we win, there's going to be massive celebrations all around the country. Do you think this will change our relationship with the restrictions, and will it return our mentality back to normality?
Well, I think that there's been a lot of talk about the fact that we shouldn't have been allowed to have so many people in these games and stuff like that. And I think that, we talk about the pandemic an awful lot, but we haven't talked about the joy and the relief that this tournament has brought to millions and millions of people across the country. And it's given such relief and such joy after such a depressing time. I think it's been an absolutely perfect situation for us at this moment in time in the pandemic. And I know people may go on and start quoting, well, off this game, this many infections were caught because they've done so well with the vaccine. I think it's been an absolute triumph, and hopefully on Sunday we will make even more millions of people even happier than they are now. Yeah. But certainly from the point of view as being locked down for so long and has been so miserable because we can't do what we would normally do, we've had the opportunity to feel some joy and excitement, and hopefully great joy and excitement on Sunday. So, let's move forward, and let's hopefully from here on in, things get released even more, and everybody takes up the vaccination, and we don't find too many more variants popping up.
Sam, I think, though, there's one thing. Well, actually, there's two things the government could do immediately, because Sunday is going to be one of the biggest days for England in a century. I think they immediately could say we don't need to have a crowd capacity at Wembley and pack the stadium full to the rafters. I hear that's one thing government officials are already discussing. And what about an amnesty for our pubs too? For one day only, they can lose all of those COVID rules so that they can pack as many people in as possible.
Well, I would be for that. Obviously, I'm a massive football fan, and football from so many people in this country, it's our national game. And there's this one time we've got to a final for so many years since 1996 that, for one day and one day only, I think the government could restrict the pubs to have a bit of common sense, of course, but to try and keep everybody as safe as possible. But then again, when you've got a lot of people, no matter where they are, when you've got a football match, if England are going to score, people are going to celebrate. But like I said, seeing those celebrations and the relief and the joy that it's bringing them, I think for this day and this day only, they should lift those restrictions and let the landlords make everybody happy with serving a few drinks while they're watching the game. They've been so restricted and so financially strapped, it'd be good for them, and it'd be great for all the England fans that want to all come together and rejoice and watch the game together, and hopefully for a win.
Isabel, do you have a question for Sam?
Yeah, Sam, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. It is so good having you with us on our little panel this evening to talk about all of this. But I want to know, I'm sure you've spoken to Gareth Southgate a couple of times during all of this and give us an insight into how he must be feeling, because he was under so much pressure, wasn't he? And he still is. But also, of course, there's the little vindication for himself, because he famously missed that penalty, didn't he, at this stage in the tournament when he was a player. Do you think tonight there might be a personal element of satisfaction in the win tonight?
Oh, absolutely. I think that he's managed himself, he's managed his staff, he's managed the players, he's managed the media brilliantly as well. So I think he will, have a quiet drink with the rest of his staff tonight. And I think he will, when he reflects on it, probably when he goes to bed, he'll feel like the whole world has lifted on his shoulders, because when you're England manager, you don't believe me, you carry the world on your shoulder when you come to these tournaments and these games. And he has done what no manager's been able to do since '66, and that's get to a final. So he'll be feeling very, 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 very proud of himself. I hope he does, and his staff and his players. And obviously he can relax tonight, but then he has to get stuck into getting the team ready, picking the team for Sunday, and hopefully he'll pick the right one. But he will be delighted. I'm sure he'll sleep well tonight.
And Big Sam, final question: where are you going to be watching the game on Sunday? What are you going to do for it?
Well, I'm tucked away. I'm tucked away in Spain. I managed to get out here when my season finished with West Brom. COVID over here is very, very limited where I am. I have my own place here, so I don't have any problems, and I'm getting rather a lot of really good sunshine and watch this game with a couple of really good cold beers tonight. Excuse me. So I intend to do that on Sunday.